my darlings. Welcome to Geek Girls Review. I'm your host, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. No, just kidding. It's me, Jessica Nova, and you're watching Geek Girls Review. What are we reviewing today? Well, I'm dressed for the occasion. I'm going to finally do my review of Cassandra Peterson's Yours Cruelly, Elvira. It's her memoirs of the Mistress of the Dark. She wrote it, I think, if I remember correctly, I didn't immediately go do all my facts again. But as far as I remember, this is what she was doing most of 2020. And I was super excited. I watched, kind of the little bit that she was posting on her social media as she was writing it. And if I recall, she wrote most of it in a coffee shop. She would just go because there was nothing else to do and would just go write every day. So I thought that was super fascinating. I thought her whole process was exciting. I love that she used it as a way of coming out publicly. It was a phenomenon. Everybody was talking about it. The moment that it was brought up, the moment it was released, it was I got to listen to a book tour podcast on it, which is not normally a thing I would do, or really even be interested in. I pre-ordered it so that I could get it signed. I have a certificate of authenticity. Wanted to get it signed, and then I got access to that book tour podcast. But yeah, that part's just fucking exciting. So I definitely would have suggested pre-ordering it if, you've already missed that opportunity. But those of you that did, hooray, we got signed autographed copies. I love the cover. I love the book cover. God, there's a certain, the sleeve, I don't know, fuck. But I love the raised print there for her name, and it's also on her name at the bottom. Gosh, her author name. I love that it's raised. I think that is a very nice touch. I also like the tactile texture of what is the book sleeve. I love the picture that they chose of her. It's very iconic. It's also very Elvira, kind of at the height of Elvira. So I thought that was nice that they went with that. Sometimes when you get memoirs, it'll be a more current photo, but especially the way that she wrote this book, she picked a great photo. So what is in the memoirs of Cassandra Peterson? I'm not going to tell you, even though I have an autographed copy, which I'm going to probably put in there a couple more times. I'm just going to let you know. I also won one with my Elvira video act that I did. It's a burlesque. It's a big homage to her, and that was filmed during 2020 when we couldn't leave our houses. So I made weird digital burlesque. Anyway, so I won a copy with that. But even though I had 2 copies, you know what I didn't do? I did not read the book. Now, I have listened to the book. That's right. I thought I was going to read the hard copy. That's what I like to do. That's what I always tell myself I'm going to do. And then I didn't do it. And Kirsten actually was the one that let me know the audiobook was read by Cassandra. I think so. Maybe I told, it doesn't, either way, doesn't matter. Somebody ended up telling me the audiobook was great and that she narrated it. So I got that on Audible, and it took me a bit, just really to get into it. I got into the first few chapters, was super hooked. I like to listen to books when I'm driving to and from gigs and stuff. So got super into it for about the first 10 chapters and then just didn't go back to it. And part of that was, the writing is great. I love that she starts so early in her life and you're getting to really learn who the person that became and created Elvira is. So you're super invested in that. But there are a lot of chapters that deal with people like sexual misconduct, people that were super fucked up to her, horrible situations she was in. And I love that she's talking so candidly about it, and I love that it's there for the reader or the listener, but it gets really heavy. Yeah, there are certain things that you're just like, wow, I need a second, you know, and especially driving and not really being able to go anywhere except into my thoughts. I would just have to have kind of a down moment and be like, I hate that this happened to a person that I think is cool as shit and has really like inspired different parts of my life. So, you know, as a person, I hurt for her going through these horrible events. And then also kind of just having that sad realization that it happens to all of us. You know, it does, and it sucks, and I wish that it didn't, but and the stories are different, but they're also always the same. So there was a harsh truth to a lot of that that resonated with me. Yay, trauma. At least I have trauma that's like the Mistress of the Darks. That's cool, right? 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 Fuck. Anyhow, the book is great. It actually, by the time you get into her talking about Elvira and everything that went into it and the roller coaster of her marriage through that, it's very fascinating to see how it all ties in, how it all jacket. That's what that fucking thing is called on the book. I think it's called the fucking jacket. Anyway, you get such a deep look into her life, and for better or worse, you know, these amazing experiences and these horrible experiences, and she both deep dives and also makes it very accessible, even though, like I said, you're going to have those pauses where shit just gets a little too real or resonates a little too hard and you take a beat. But it's very accessible, very digestible. Nothing really felt like it dragged on too long. I thought that even though I'd kind of maybe hit a couple points where I'm like, is this really going to go on that long? I'm kind of tired of talking about this. And then that section would end. I felt like her editors did a great job keeping flow to something that is simultaneously so interwoven, and then also these moments, they're so juxtaposed with good bad. But hey, I guess that's life, right? I think you'll like it. Like I said, it is like I said, I'm sure I say that a million times because it's like I said. But pick yourself up a copy if you can of the hardcover because there's photos in it. I'm gonna try and yeah. So like it's totally worth getting a hard copy. But if you're not one to sit down and read, or you don't have time, or you just would really like to hear it in her voice, her words in her voice, because her delivery is great. She's so funny. She's just, it's wonderful. Listen to the audiobook, buy yourself a hard copy, enjoy it. It is, even if you're not a huge Elvira fan, but you know of her and you want like a very interesting story, check it out. All right, you've been watching Geek Girls Review. I'm Jessica Nova. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at the Jessica Nova. You can follow me on Twitter at Jessica Nova, and you can find me, and I mean lots of me, over at mygeekglory.com. All our social is at mygeekglory, and like I said, like, subscribe, like, whatever it is, help the channel to grow. This has been Geek Girls Review.